So let's talk about the man for a minute.
Yeah.
I remember in my monologue when I was talking, I said I cannot understand why a human being would walk away from a human that they have brought into the world, whether they thought they were doing it or not. Okay, and I understand it's a very heavy thing for somebody to bear, very heavy thing for somebody to carry. But what would you say to men? I know because you have counseled a lot of men, you have talked to a lot of couples. What would you say to a man whose instinct is, I'm going to run from this situation?
This is what I will talk to the man. Even before that circumstance, even that situation, when you be responsible, every encounter has, that's what we began with. Every encounter
has a consequence.
Is a responsibility.
Yes.
It's every time you sleep with a woman, whether you love them, whether you care for them, whether it is there's a responsibility you've got to bear.
Yeah.
Be it sickness, illness, and disease.
That's true.
There's responsibility.
Yes.
That's what we talk about.
Yes.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
Anything that happens to that woman between now and here, you have to be responsible.
You're a part of it.
You're a part of that world. If you wanted to take responsibility in the bedroom, take responsibility outside of the bedroom.
I like that.
Yeah, because how is it that you want to own the process in the bedroom and be man enough in the bedroom, but when it comes to owning the responsibility of the consequences of the bedroom, you take off, then it really leaves a lot to be desired about who you are as a man.
Yeah.
Who do you define yourself as a man? Who do you define yourself in terms of your roles and your responsibility?
So why do they take off?
Remember, for him, what was his intent at the time? Was he just having fun, or was he trying to take responsibility for what he is doing? Mine is to say that man needs to really check himself in terms of who he is. What do you define yourself as destiny?
Exactly.
You know, what is your destiny?
Yeah.
Why don't you take leadership? A real man leads.
Yeah.
A real man leads, and a real man owns.
So we've talked about the irresponsible, the man who's natural instinct, like you're saying, I'm just going to sleep around. What about the responsible one? The man who's actually a responsible person in his everyday life.
Yeah.
He's well respected, he's built himself, but this situation happens to him and his instinct is
run.
So
I like the way you're saying he's a responsible guy.
Okay, actually he's not.
He's not. Can you see how responsibility is?
Otherwise, he has historically.
Yeah. What we really need is to redefine what is responsibility. Okay. Responsibility is I'm secure and able to take care of my own and my home, and I am not trying to be irresponsible. So that man, he may be financially secure, he may be mature in terms of age, but in terms of responsibility, in terms of character, he's a man who has not yet come into himself.
Do you think it can mature somebody, whether it's let's start with men, do you think it can bring him to a point of maturity?
I know some people, I know for men who have said, this happened and I decided to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I grew up where that did not happen, and I know what I felt as a man growing up without a father figure.
And how does he break the news to his people, whether it is his mom, God forbid his wife?
I think by the time a man is able to zip down, he should be able to talk up.
Yeah.
He should be able to speak up.
Zip down, talk up. I like that. I like
because
that.
Because at this point in time, you're a man. I take responsibility even with my actions. I'll go and speak. There will be consequences.
Yes, of course.
Definitely, somebody is not going to be happy.
Yeah.
But the fact is, this happened, and this is what I'm planning to do. Is it better
to speak up then, or?
It's better to speak up. Mona, it's better to speak up. Full disclosure is not a breakup. Full disclosure is that this is who I am. And I lay all my cards on the table. Okay. This is my financial status. Yeah. This is how I come. Yes, 20 years down the road, when I was 19 or 20, I have a son.
Yes.
And he's in pure box, 20 Karatina. And those, I would respect such a person because they themselves are grown, they're mature, they're able to bring everything to the table. Yes. Let the woman or the man make a decision based on what is there. Because let me tell you something, this world is so small.
Yes.
There will be an accident that will take place and you'll require to give blood.
Yeah.
Okay?
And it
Can
won't
you-
match or something.
And it won't match.
Yeah.
Do you want the information to
That's
come out
true.
under duress? And you can imagine the magnitude of pain
That is so
that you would
powerful.
cause about 10 or 15 people
Yeah.
as compared to one person.
Yeah.
Because here
In
is
the
a
beginning.
life-threatening situation. Somebody is in a life-threatening, and now we not only have to deal with the fact that this is not your child, but
Exactly.
then at the same time, we needed to look for blood.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's true.
But now if we are both at the time when there's no duress,
Yeah.
and we need to speak
Yeah.
up, take responsibility.
I think what you're saying is it is better to talk when you have a controlled situation.
Yes.
This has happened. I'm going to come to you and I'll talk to you
Yes.
in a controlled circumstances
Yes.
where I can prepare you
Yes.
and give you time to digest this.
Give you time to digest.
Yeah.
And even, Mona, I have known couples who have said, can we go for counseling? Because at that point in time,
Yeah.
there was something that happened in our marriage and I stepped out.
see.
So you are not only disclosing, but you're using it an avenue for you guys to heal
Yeah.
what has been broken.
What has been broken.
What,
Oh, wow.
what has been a situation
Yeah.
that you two
Yeah.
had no control
Yes.
over. I think that is more wholesome.
We're talking about empowering a woman, and one of the things you talked about was we need to give women tools,
Yes.
right, on how to get through these
Yeah.
sort of pregnancies, and how to become mothers after the fact.
Society can handicap you. We have this label
Yes.
that we throw out very
Yes.
easily. We say, she's a single mother. Do you want to be a single mother? Mona, do you want to be a single mother?
No.
And now we made it a title so that then we make you feel that a single mother is
Is somehow-
synonym to failure.
Okay,
Single mother is synonym to this.
it's been labeled.
It's a label.
Okay.
So even when we go for functions, all single mothers, you know.
But do they ever say that though?
You know, yes, single mothers. You know, we are having a chama for single mothers. We are having this for single mothers. Can we begin to see ourselves as mothers? I'm as much a mother as
how
the
would you-
mother who's married.
How would you put it then? If you're not to say single mother, what is the way you'd put it
I
to
am
remove?
a mother. I am a mother who is single. That's different. I'm a mother first.
Wow.
Then single as
Yeah.
far as marital status.
Yeah. Because my child is 100% a
She's
child.
100%. She's not a single child, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you can see how words
Yeah.
can be so impactful because every time you call yourself a single mother, there's a handicap, like lacking.
Do you think that is part of the stigma that has caused so many women, for instance, to do abortions? Recently, a story of a woman, she was 35, she
Yeah.
got pregnant, and she decided to abort this baby. And she passed away.
Oh, geez.
So the story was, and people were asking, what is it that would drive a 35-year-old woman to have an abortion and to do it in some backdoor place?
Yeah.
You know, like, is it part of the stigma that we've attached to this? Or, yeah.
I think as a society, for that which we do not know well of, we actually demonize it. For that which
That is true.
we
Or that which is not the norm.
which is not the norm, it's
Yeah.
not the straight and narrow,
Yeah.
that is an expectation. We demonize it and we make it sound like it's the worst thing that can ever
Yeah.
happen. And so this 35-year-old mature woman
Yes.
goes to a back street
Yeah.
because she's afraid to face her people.
Yes.
She's afraid to face probably her church.
Yeah.
She's afraid to face
Her
somebody.
colleagues,
And
yeah.
imagine maybe she could have possibly been the best mother. She probably
Exactly.
even cared and nurtured for other people's children.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
She's
yes.
a nurturer.
Yeah.
She's probably has such great gifts and abilities. But guess what? The world has given her the ability, the mindset,
fear, the
and the
mindset, yeah.
fear that as a single mother you will never make it. Nobody will love you. Nobody will ever want you. And that, how unfair can we
Yes.
be?
Do you think there's a perfect scenario of a perfect family? Because once again, this is what we draw in, you know, when you teach our children in school,
Yeah.
draw your family, even without knowing
There's
what
a
the
mommy and
backgrounds,
daddy, yeah,
yes, of this
yeah.
child is. There's mommy and daddy and there's you and your sister or whatever. Do you think that those are some things that we need to rethink?
I remember a friend of mine came home and she said, my kid was crying because when the teacher asked that, please bring your mommy and daddy to class,
Yeah.
mind, I couldn't bring my daddy. You see, even in the classroom,
exactly.
there's also some
Exactly.
form of segregation that
Exactly,
takes place.
yeah.
So what we need to do is also educate. and actually teach and make them realize that sometimes life can happen.
Exactly.
And
Just different families.
Yes, and Mary, the dad is not present, the dad died, the dad has gone, and this happens because society has changed. And so it's important, and they have to know that it's one family is not better than the other family.
They're just different.
Just because the mom is there and there's no daddy, that doesn't mean that she's a bad mommy, that she does, it's the way things are as is.
Okay, so let's talk about after all this has happened. This woman who was left, she's now a single mother. How does she go back? How does she, number one, trust again? Trust again. And how does she go back if she decides into the dating scene or into a relationship?
You know the beauty part, Mona, is she's still a woman.
Okay.
She's still beautiful. She's still a girl. She wants to be nurtured. She wants to wind and dine. And you can imagine having the child does not take away the feelings
of that,
and the emotional need for her to still be needed and valued and celebrated and cherished.
To have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, she got disappointed. The guy took off, or even he died. Or even she got divorced, but she still has that need, and more so now because she has been giving. She's giving to this little person who has taken almost everything.
Exactly.
And possibly she may have a few hang-ups from the past.
Many hang-ups even, if she's not like dealt with the steps.
Exactly. So the key here, Mona, is, you've just said it, have you taken the time to deal with me and my hang-ups? Okay. How about I take time to rediscover me? Okay. Because parenting has a way of losing yourself. Let me discover myself. What do I like? What do I not like? How do I like doing my hair? How do I want it flipped? How do I love this? And the thing is, the woman comes into herself. Okay. She becomes a woman that is aware that I something has changed in me. I no longer love to do certain things. I no longer love to drink. Then I can be able to say that this is who I am, and this is who I need to date. This is who I want to date. This is who I intentionally need to love.
This is who I am, and this is who I need to date.
Yes.
I think that's very powerful, because my next question is going to be, how do you stop yourself from repeating the same pattern, which a lot of us do, because we're trying to fix it.
We're trying to fix, but sometimes we attract the same person who we left 10 years ago.
Trying to make it right this time. That one escaped. It wasn't me, it was him. So if I get one, the same thing happens and he stays, then I can convince myself I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yes.
But first work on me. Because in every relationship, I'm hoping that the person who left is working on himself. Okay. So let's leave him wherever he is working. But now I am here. I have actually, the child is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever it is, and I'm ready to date. But I need to work on me.
Is it going to take that long? Because I think you just frightened.
No. Whatever time. You see, what happens is it's really hard to date when you're breastfeeding. You know, or when the kid is a toddler, you're so engrossed in motherhood. But some do. Some do. But if I wait and say, let me, in the process of discovering motherhood and discovering who I am, I really love me.
Let me take some time.
Take some time. So that the woman that you're becoming, the man that you attract, or even you're attracted to, is somebody who celebrates you at that level. So it's important for us to have a very introspective conversation with ourselves, even whether you have a child or not. Because you have to look at the history
I'm learning
of dating.
right now. I'm like, wow.
You look at your dating history. If you find that you've attracted the player consistently in your relationship,
whether it's many players or the same one,
the same player,
the same guy,
you need to ask yourself, I'm the only common denominator in this relationship with myself and this persons, then that means there's something I am attracting that is in me. I need to switch or change.
Wow.
Okay? Because then you will find that if you are swimming with the sharks, I need to change the waters.
Yes. Or get a submarine. I like that.
Get a submarine.
So tell me now, as we're talking about this, as we wrap it up, tell me about, I know you talk a lot about purpose.
Yes.
And I think it's so important when you say a woman is raising who she is. Yes. And I've been using that a lot in my life, because I feel in the past 6 months, despite so many things that have happened, I feel like my water levels are arising, and I'm coming more into who I am.
Yeah.
So tell me specifically about this woman, and she's gone through all this.
Yeah.
How do her water levels rise? How does she find her purpose again?
This is my mojo. This is what I live and breathe. A couple of years back, I was reading a book. I was in a class, a leadership class, and one of my mentors and teachers was leading us in this class. And this book was by some Nigerian writer and preacher called Sunday Adelaja. And he did something, and it's important to tell you this story.
Yeah.
He did something very significant. He went to Russia and started in the Ukraine and started a church in the Ukraine speaking Russian.
Wow.
And had the fastest growing church in the 1990s, which was against the grain.
Yeah.
How do you do that? He did not start a Nigerian church. He did not start an African church.
He went
and started one. And he was asked this question, Mona. He said, how did you do it? And he said this. He said, I looked at the nation and I saw the pain.
Wow.
The pain of lack.
Yes.
No direction.
Yeah.
And he had such deep pain. Purpose is when you can look at the environment around you and the environment within, and you recognize there is pain. Then
I almost cursed you.
You recognize pain, and you recognize it is that I have the ability to solve the pain.
Yeah. To speak to something,
to bring life into painful situations. That's one point. Then the other point, he also said, I became passionate about lives, transformation. I knew that on one end of the axis, there was pain. On one end is passion. Where these two intersect is called purpose.
Whoa, okay, say that again.
Where these two intersect, where your pain, so on one end is pain. You recognize that you have looked at society and you've seen, oh my goodness, every time I walk through Nairobi streets, I see trash. Stop thinking that somebody else needs to solve it. Maybe there's pain. How do I solve this problem? Then there is the passion. Oh, wow. When I see babies, I not only see babies, but I also want to see how can we solve the problem of, so there's passion. I really love doing this thing. I can do it with my eyes closed. I don't even need to be paid. And that's where these two intersect. Where they cross and intersect is called purpose.
Wow.
Every day of your life, there's going to be pain and there's going to be passion. That will be the tension. Don't run away from the pain.
Put them together.
Put them together
find
the point where they intersect. That is going to be your answer to society.
Wow.
That's purpose.
That is powerful. That is powerful. I love it.
Thank you. Awesome.
Okay, so Cynthia, thank you so much. Today, again, just to wrap it up, we've been talking about specifically mothers who are single.
Yes.
Whether it was because they had, like a random hookup, or they were in a relationship that went wrong, or the person passed away, whatever it was, you're a mother and you're single. How do you deal with that? From the point of pregnancy all the way to the point of now you're a mother, and now we've just touched on, now you are dating.
Yes.
So if we were to wrap this up in just a few sentences, like 2 or 3 sentences, tell me something to tell this mother who is single.
Yes.
Few sentences, wrap it up.
I have only one statement that I'll tell you. Love, embrace, celebrate your new season. Wow. It's a season.
I'm going to end with that.
Yes. It's a season.
It's a season. So the conclusion for all this, and Cynthia has put it very well in a few sentences. Love, celebrate, and enjoy.
Yes.
Enjoy the season. Love, celebrate, and enjoy the season. It's a season. It's something you're in. You've come into it, and you've come into it to meet your purpose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where there is pain and there is purpose, meet it. And you'll rise to the next level. It is not the end of the world. It is something that you can do. You have support systems. If it's finances, there is always a way to get that. And the other thing she said, which I really loved, was, if you find you cannot take care of this baby, give it 9 months, because there's so many other people who want this baby to take care of. So you're a mother who is single, unplanned or planned, you can do it. You have the power, you have the strength, you have the support. And I have totally loved this conversation we've had, Cynthia. Thank you so much. We must talk again on many other topics. Yes,
Anytime.
and I hope you guys will all be here with us when we talk again on many other topics. Life with Mona is about being real. It's about taking the hard topics, breaking them down, and most importantly, no judgment. Thank you for being with us this week. We hope you have a good one as you celebrate the rest of yours.